Alright, now this is a short breakdown of what an inference actually is and how you can ensure that you do not get the sub-inference marks, but you get the full inference marks. Now, when I say do an inference, right, the main thing you need to find out is these four things, okay? Not all four will apply for every single question, okay? But it's largely down to the subject. In some cases, they will give you the subject, alright? This is basically who or what are you inferring about. For example, if I say the subject, please infer about this person. Okay, next thing you need to find out is what exactly are you going to infer about. Are you going to infer about his character? Are you going to infer about his values? Are you going to infer about his status? Okay, these three question marks here are exactly what I call the aspects. What aspects of the main subject are you going to infer about? Some questions will tell you the aspect straight away. Some questions will not. Some questions will just ask you to infer about the subject. So you need to find out the aspect. And then after you find out the aspect, please find out for me the actual claim. The claim is the actual inference itself. What about his character? What about his values? What about his status? Okay, the reason why I split between the claim and the reason is because there are some instances, right, where your claim will be positive or negative. Okay, there are some instances where your claim will be things like beneficial, okay, or harmful. Okay, in this case, these two words here, although a correct inference, are not that clear. You still need to break it down further and tell me the in what way. In what way is it beneficial? In what way is it harmful? Or in other words, what exactly is the reason for it being beneficial or harmful? And that falls under your reason. Okay, but by and large, most basic inferences, you will not write down beneficial or harmful. Instead, you write down specifically what the inference is. For example, if I tell you about the person, right, and you tell me about the aspect of this person, okay, this person's character, and then immediately you say this person's character is someone who is very generous. This is a very direct inference already. So in this case, the claim is already very clear. All right. When do we need to give a reason? Is when, especially for the evaluation question, number one, and more for the reliability question, where you have to match exactly the claim and the reason together, which I will elaborate more in detail in the next slide. Now, just to recap again, breakdown of an inference. Subject is alone. They just tell you what can you infer about the British. In this case, you need to find out the aspect. Or they can tell you, please infer about British rule. In this case, they already tell you to infer specifically about this subject and specifically about this aspect, which is the rule itself. Moving on. Now, in order to obtain the best marks, right? The best marks, okay, as far as possible, as what I said just now, ensure that your claim is indicative of a specific reason as well. This is more for the basic inference questions. For example, sub-inference. If you tell me that British rule in Singapore was beneficial, you need to tell me exactly how it is beneficial, the reason it is beneficial in your explanation. So in order to make your answer a bit more fuller, please write down for me exactly how. So British rule in Singapore enabled Singapore to achieve prosperity. This is exactly how, right? Enabled Singapore to achieve the prosperity that it didn't have. So therefore, this is why it is beneficial. This is specifically why it is beneficial. Okay, take note. It contains both the claim and the specific reason why. Now, moving on. Basic inferences. Normally, the subject will be given to you. Subject in this case is the main topic that you're inferring about. Depending on the question, they may or may not give you the aspect. So, for example, what can you infer about the Chinese? In this case, the only subject is present. You need to tell me the aspect. You need to tell me the claim itself. Or they can ask you, what about the working conditions? In this case, they already tell you the aspect. Aspect already given. Next thing, they tell you the subject. So then you need to make a strong claim about these working conditions, and you cannot just say beneficial, harmful. You must say exactly why. Now, in the next video, I will talk more about comparison.